When I decided I was going to be a carry-on traveler, mistakes were made. And this video is all about those mistakes I made learning to become a carry-on only traveler. Let's get into it. So I'm saving the biggest mistake I made as a new carry-on traveler for the last. Now, the first mistake I made when I decided that this is the route I wanted to go was thinking all carry-ons were created equal. And boy, that could not have been more wrong. I thought I was just going to use the carry-on bag I already have that went with the luggage set that I already had, and that it was going to work for me. And I was wrong. The carry-on piece that you choose is critical to your success in becoming a successful carry-on traveler. And for me, this Briggs & Riley bag was an absolute game changer, and let me show you why. This is my favorite carry-on ever, and it's because it does so much. Like, I mean, when you look at it, it looks like a basic black carry-on, like everybody else's black carry-on. Now, what makes this bag really, really great is that the hardware is on the outside of the bag. Yeah, the hardware for the trolley pieces is on the outside of the bag, so it doesn't take up any of that inside space. But this, for me, was the game changer. Now, this is something that's characteristic of a lot of full-size checked luggage bags. And this is something that made everything work for me. Because with this, you can put a hanging piece, like a dress, or like a red t-shirt. And you can just clip that right there. Secures the hanger. And then it's got this piece for longer clothing pieces. Fold it up and zip it right in. And then it's got a really deep interior compartment. Now, one of the things that's so awesome about this Briggs & Riley design, and this is in all of their pieces that I know of, is that it's got these expandable inside pieces. And what that means is you can roll up and pack up all of your items in here. You can have your hanging items on top, zip your bag closed, and then all you have to do is lean onto it and collapse the sides. And those are the features that make the Briggs & Riley piece the perfect carry-on bag for me. So the first mistake I made in becoming a carry-on only traveler was thinking that all carry-on bags were created equally, because they're not. They're really, really not. Now, the next mistake I made as a carry-on traveler only was not realizing how critical that second carry-on piece is to your success. And by that second carry-on piece, what I mean is your personal item. So you're allowed to take one carry-on bag and one personal item, a cabin bag, a purse, or a backpack, something like that, on board. And at first, I thought the carry-on I already had and my purse was gonna cut it. And I was wrong. And that's because, admittedly, I am a high maintenance woman. That means I want to carry all my lotions and potions, everything I need to maintain this the best I can with me. And let me just tell you, that is an embarrassingly large amount of stuff. But nonetheless, I want to have all my stuff with me. And that my cabin bag or my personal bag had to really work extra hard to make that happen for me. A regular purse that I carry day to day is not going to make that happen. Now, what does work really, really great for me is either this backpack or this cabin bag. Now, of course, both of these pieces fit perfectly underneath the airplane seat in front of you. Now, this Briggs & Riley bag is awesome as a cabin bag because it has easy access to different things that you might need quickly right here. And it's got a ton of interior space for whatever you might need. I've even put my computer here, and you can see there's plenty of room for my lotions and potions and all that kind of good stuff. What I like about this is that it also has a trolley handle and wheels, so it's easy to roll around, right? But there is something I can't stand about this cabin bag. What I hate about this bag is how it attaches to the other bag. The way it works is you stack the cabin bag on top of the carry-on, and then this piece pulls out, twists, and locks onto here, just like this. And you would think that that would work, that would be fine. The problem is that this slides. There is a slight groove in this little skeletal piece that kind of locks into this piece behind it, if you can see that there. The problem is that it shifts. It shifts constantly. The little groove system doesn't work very well, which means if you're rolling these through the airport in a hurry trying to catch a connecting flight, this top bag is shifting all over the place. And one of the main things that attracted me to even becoming a carry-on traveler was the convenience and the ease of getting through the airport and not having to ever wait on checked bags or worried about bags getting lost. And when your cabin bag is all shifty on top of your carry-on bag, it's not a convenient experience. And for that reason, I use my backpack way more often than I use my cabin bag. And this is the backpack that I love. And of course it does have a strap that allows it to sit right on top of my carry-on. It doesn't shift. It has a good padded laptop carrier. It has tons of space for all my lotions and potions. It's got lots of compartments for keeping things organized and even side pockets for a water bottle. Now there are tons of reasons why the backpack works so much better for me than the cabin bag. It sits on top of my carry-on bag with no problem at all. I can use it as a backpack when I'm out for different day trips at my destination, which I can't do that with my cabin bag. But here is one of the most attractive things about using this backpack over this cabin bag, and that is it costs like over $400 less. So that is a real win for me. I was a little concerned and a little leery of what the quality of this backpack might be, but I have stuffed it to the brim and the zippers have held up. I've carried it all over the world and I've not had any issue. I've never put it in the washer, but I do spot clean it and wipe it out with a wet microfiber towel at the end of each trip, so it's very easy to clean up. And for all of those reasons, I love this backpack. In fact, I've met many of you at different airports in different places on different continents, and these are the two bags I'm carrying. This Briggs & Riley carry-on bag and this Amazon backpack, because these pieces are critical to my success as a carry-on traveler. Now, the next mistake I made when I first started out trying to be a carry-on traveler was not having those comfort items or those maintenance items that I needed with me, thinking everything I was going to need was going to be with me in the hotel. And let me tell you, that was just not the case. I sleep hot, like I sleep really, really hot. And for that reason, I need a fan. I need a fan to sleep with. And I love this one because it's USB powered, which means I can plug it into a power strip, or I can plug it in even to my power bank, but it folds flat. And that just doesn't take up too much space at all in my carry-on bag. For me to sleep comfortably, I need a fan. I'm just one of those people. And that's one thing you don't find in most hotel rooms is a fan. So now I always travel with a fan because I know I need one to sleep comfortably, and I'm not gonna make the mistake of thinking the hotel is gonna have one. Now, the other mistake I made early on in my traveling career was not having an iron or a steamer with me. And I know a lot of people only pack clothes that don't wrinkle, and that is awesome. I would love to know how you do that, because I wear clothes that tend to get wrinkled when I pack them, and maybe it's because I, squish the life out of them to do it, but nonetheless, my clothes are wrinkled when I get to my destination. Now, almost every hotel I've ever stayed in does have an iron, and that's something that I appreciated for a very long time, up until the day that I did not appreciate it. And that's because as I became a more efficient carry-on traveler, I packed fewer and fewer clothing items, which means I didn't have spares. I had what I needed, but I didn't have any extra. And then one day, on one of the last days of my trip, I'm ironing a blouse that I brought, and the iron spits out this goop and gunk or whatever is in a hotel iron, and it's all over it. And of course, I could not wear that blouse because it had hotel iron stuff, whatever comes out of a hotel iron. I don't even know what it is, but it was all over my blouse and I couldn't wear it. And I only had one more clean top and I had 2 more days of my trip, so I had a problem. I ended up washing the one top I had that was still clean and washing another one in the sink so I could wear it the next day. But after that experience, I added this little piece to my carry-on travel inventory. So I can use this little steam iron to iron something just like on the countertop with a towel and lay my top out over it, and it steams and it irons really, really well, and I can maintain it, I can keep it clean, so I don't ever have to worry about iron gunk getting on the pieces that I bring with me when I travel. Now, the next mistake I made, becoming a carry-on only traveler, was thinking everything I was bringing with me had to fit in either a carry-on or my backpack. And let me tell you, that's not the case. Now, I am somebody that loves music. I love all different types of music from all over the world, and so it's something I really, really enjoy when I travel. And everywhere I go, I take this little JBL speaker, and I use this carabiner clip, and I clip it right onto my backpack. And another item that I never travel about, I cannot spit it out. Okay, cut. Another item I never travel without, especially if I'm gonna be on an airplane, are my Bose noise canceling headphones. But look, the case takes up a lot of space. Like, even as big as my backpack is, it takes up a lot of space. So I use the same little carabiner clip and I clip that onto my backpack as well. Oops. Now, admittedly, I don't know if my little clip-ons to my backpack are going to fly at every airport with every security agent. I have never been questioned. I have never had anybody even take a second look at them. But that doesn't mean it couldn't happen. I don't know what would happen with that, if I would have to find a way to put it inside my bag if I came across an agent that decided that was the safest thing to do. Of course, if that happens, I will put it in my bag and figure out how to deal with it, and I'll come on here and let you know. But at this point, I have traveled worldwide and I've not had any issue with these pieces being clipped onto my backpack. I've never even had a question about it. So I'm gonna keep doing it until I know it's a problem. I have saved the best for last, and you know what this is. We all know what this is. We all know the biggest challenge and the biggest mistake most of us make when we first start out as a carry-on only traveler is packing either too much or not enough clothing. That's right, I've done both, right? I've packed too many pieces and come home and only worn maybe 2/3 of what I had. Like, I sat on that suitcase to collapse it with way too much stuff inside of it, which is probably why I need to iron more than I should have to iron while I'm traveling, but whatever, that's what I did. I've packed too much. But I have also packed too little. I have also gone on trips knowing that I had different functions at different times of the day and not having an adequate amount of clothing with me to have outfits that I felt confident and appropriate in for those different events throughout the day. So I have done both. I have packed both too much and too little to be a successful carry-on traveler. So that brings me to the worst mistake I've ever made as a carry-on traveler, and that is simply packing without a plan. If you've seen some of my other videos, you might know that I have one all about planning that perfect capsule wardrobe so that you have everything you need to feel comfortable and confident for every day of your trip while you're traveling. If you haven't seen it, I'm gonna link it here so that you can go and check that out. Because the packing plan is by and far the most important mistake that I've corrected in becoming a successful carry-on only traveler. It's the plan, y'all. So thanks so much for hanging out with me today while I've told you all about the mistakes I made in becoming a successful carry-on only traveler. As usual, everything that I've talked about and showed you today will be linked down below in the description box, but feel free, do drop down into the comments and let me know if you have any questions. I would love to know, if you are traveling as a carry-on traveler, what are the most important things you've learned from mistakes that you might made? I'd love to hear about that, so let's chat. If you are not a carry-on only traveler, I would love to know what keeps you checking bags. I would love to know what is working well for you in that checked bag process that keeps you going back to checking that bag for every single trip. Now I've got to get going. I've got to get all this stuff cleaned out and cleaned up and get packed up for my next trip. See you soon. Bye, y'all.